Welcome to another episode of The Cliched Crow. Tonight we're actually going to be talking about a couple different things that pertain around APIs and the general usage of them with social networking, or if you're on a live streaming service or platform, what do they do as well? And what benefits and cons, if there's really any cons for API access? I don't know. That's what we're going to talk about tonight. But tonight, let's actually talk about the main meat and potatoes as what has been going on for the past couple months, really, is with Twitter. Twitter has been on its roller coaster ride of dropping access, getting rid of a few things, bringing things in, and changing the landscape of its actual function and what it's doing. Because lately they've been blocking API access for a lot of pretty much almost all third-party developers that deal with bringing the Twitter timeline into an app that people can download or purchase on either iOS or Android devices. But just a couple weeks ago, almost a month now, is that they have dropped all API access for those particular third-party app developers. So no longer be able to use Tapbot's Tweetbot or any other apps that deal with bringing the Twitter experience. Instead of using the actual Twitter app itself, you can use these other apps to better see Twitter as it is, or how more customizable it'd be for you to function, go through chronological, or you just get rid of the ads. And I think that's one of the major point was getting rid of the third-party apps access to the API, was because a lot of them were dropping the ads. The problem is that Twitter could have easily added just one or two lines of codes into the actual API itself to force ads into your timeline feed within these external apps. But they didn't, for whatever reason. If you wanted more ads out there for more eyes, think to add ads. We heard you like ads, so we're going to add ads into your ads on top of your ads, sort of thing. Now, lately, what the whole thing is that's going on with, especially they're still continuing on with Twitter, is that they're pretty much calling all access to API functions for anybody, any bots or anything. That it was supposed to go last week. It was supposed to go in effect where no one would have access to APIs, which means that a lot of bots, small bots like HorseyBot, anyone that within the research community, scientific research community, would have access to Twitter information that dealt with whatever research stuff that they were working on. All that would be cut off last week, but for some strange reason, they decided we'll go ahead and put it into next week, and it's still continuing. And now lately, what is happening is that they're saying you can have access, but you have to pay for it. Okay, that's perfectly within their right, because API access is an infrastructure cost that the companies are building that before were available for free to anyone and everyone to be able to access the Twitter timeline or the feed that was from Twitter into whatever plate that they were trying to make for themselves. So I don't see that Twitter was wanting to charge for this, because like I said, it is well within their right as a private company to do this. But the thing is the way they're going about it. Yes, Twitter API access has been pretty much free for access for anyone since time began within the general digital space. That's a long time. So it goes back against what Twitter had been. But with the case with Elon Musk purchasing Twitter a couple months ago and bringing everything private because it was a publicly traded company. So it is his show. He can do what he is, basically running it into the ground, and he is fully capable of doing that. Is right. If he wants to drag that company into the dirt and be non-profitable, whatever. It's his company. He can do what he wants with it. But the problem is that a lot of people, I think what a big problem is, a lot of people have relied on this one service to provide them with the necessary information, resources that they needed to do whatever kind of research or anything that they're working on. That was a major problem, is putting all your eggs in one basket. Now, as we saw with the pretty much the Twitter migration going to places like Mastodon or elsewhere, a major problem with that is that a lot of the people that have built their infrastructure of what they do and their lives around what they do with the Twitter API, they're having to relearn a couple different things. And sometimes some people are hesitant to move away from Twitter into the ActivityPub with Mastodon. And it's just, what do you expect? It's a different flavor, but it tastes the same. But the difference is that with Mastodon, especially with ActivityPub that Mastodon is based off of, or around, I should say, is that no one person controls the information that is being provided out there. There's so many different servers that you can have access to. You can have access to, let's say, a content creators server. You have access to a disc golf server, and the general Mastodon.social one, and so many and so on. So the thing is trying to get all the information and get to follow each of these different particular instances, that the thing is that you have to rely on hashtags. I know for years, a lot of us have been drilled down to stop using hashtags because that is not really the best way to network or to advertise what you're trying to do. That was on Twitter. With Mastodon, it's a different story. It's like you want to use hashtags, fill it up, and you want to do follow for follow, because you want to find these interesting people that you are interested in and follow them. And of course, find out who they follow and do the same thing. If that person is following someone that's interesting, you go ahead and follow that, and so on. It's just a continuation going down the rabbit hole. Now, I know there is an API that people can work off of to get the information just how they were with Twitter. We've seen it with Tapbots, because Tapbots has made a Mastodon client for iOS and Android. It's called Ivory. I think, from my personal opinion, because I've been using it, it is really good. It has an easy way to change your account states. If you have, for mine, as you can see here, this is my Mastodon at twit.social at Josh B. Also have the feed at anycreatorhub.com. And there's a couple different other ones that you can easily switch to. If you have different accounts in different instances, you can switch between them, no problem. And there are the different APIs that you can use that they have used and other app makers have used for bringing the information from Mastodon into that particular app. And it's perfectly free because it is that technically open source software, right? ActivityPub is free for masses to use. So there's just no problem with that. Now, there's also other things. We're going away from social networking to, let's say, we'll look at Twitch. Twitch does have an API that people can use. There are different things that you can use to pull information from the Twitch live streaming platform, or service, I should say. It's not really a platform. You can get live video stats. Who's watching your stream? How many people are watching your stream? How many subscribers? You can see where I'm going with that. It's all based on API that is providing information about the service to interested parties that want to take that information, package it up in a way that is easily digestible by the general public or people who are interested in learning these particular notifications or data sets without actually having to learn coding or anything like that. They can rely on the people that do have the skill set to make these particular things, to make their jobs easier. One part of that is actually a website called Solinome. What Solinome is like an aggregate of everyone that has been streaming or are streaming on the service currently, and it gives you pretty much like real-time data that what numbers are, how many people are watching, how many people have watched over days, 7 days, 30 days, 9, and so on. How many viewers, how many streams have they actually streamed within a particular date range. And it keeps it all in a nice fresh looking. Actually, I should not say fresh looking because that's what the kids say, right? No, not really. But anyways, is that it's a nice, easy to read information standard that people can easily go to the site, look up a streamer or a content creator that they're wanting to look, or even if their stats themselves, they can look up and say, oh, that's how many people have been, or you can see a graph how many people have been watching me over the past 30 or 90 days. So it's a nice thing to see is that these APIs are available. And like I mentioned before, is that the APIs are an expense that the companies do take on providing the information that people can take with and post it up on web pages and stuff like that. To say that they shouldn't be charged or shouldn't charge for the stuff, it should be free for the people. So no, not necessarily, because to do this, have a website or anything like that, it does cost money unless you have the physical hardware. But even then, you still had to pay to get the hardware, even if you're setting up your own server in your own house. You still got to pay for the hardware cost. You still got to pay for the bandwidth cost for the information that's being pulled out from your server to whoever or wherever on the internet. You still got to pay for that bandwidth cost. So a lot of the times people have this misnomer that APIs should be free forever and for anyone. That is just simply not the case. And when people see, especially like with Twitter and the backlash that it was being brought up, yes, like I said before, the way about how they did it was not the best, is not the greatest. Like I also said to all their indie developers and stuff like that, say, you know what, go pound sand. We're kicking you to the curb. We don't care. And yeah, that whole debacle was just not the best way to go about things. But to say that, wow, you're charging like $100, the stuff's not free, and there should be a cost to it. I know I'm probably going to get a little bit of hate for that. It's like, no, everything should be free. Yes, I understand things be free, but I can also see from the business side of things. Let's say if I have my own Owncast server, and yes, it's a cost to me, but I provide as a service to people who are interested in the content I do as another alternative platform or service that people can watch my live streams on Owncast. Yes, it is an expense to me, but it's something I am willing to take part of and to provide that service to people for free. I don't charge the access to it. I could if I wanted to. You have to pay $5-10 a month if you wanted to watch my own cast stream. I can be in my own right to do that, but I don't. And that's just something a lot of people have to get in their mindset, because for over a decade or two, a lot of this API stuff has been provided to the general public and developers for free. And when that gets pulled back because we're in a recession or there's big amount of inflation and things are costing a lot more. Data is costing a little bit more, even though it shouldn't. And that's a whole nother subject I'm not going to even get started on, because cable companies and internet providers, and they can go pound sand, in my personal opinion. But anyways, the API faction, is an API faction? So you get the, yeah, whatever. But no, you guys get it. It's like you're calling on saying, hey, you gave this stuff to us for free. Why are you making us pay for it? Because it costs money. And it shouldn't have been for free. It should have been had some incurred costs from the very beginning. And I think that's where the part of the problems that we're facing right now is people are so used to it being for free. So there is that. But yeah, APIs are a great thing that are provided to developers and stuff and other people that provide platforms and services that have been growing for the past decade or two that people are getting used to using or seeing. Like I said, with Twitch, there's the whole thing with the extensions that are tied into the user experience that are part of the API, because it calls in to Is this particular streamer an affiliate or a partner? So are they able to receive cash or digital transfer of monetary gains from their viewers? And if so, the viewers are allowed to use like sound effects, or they can do like special things that are on the screen, do overlays and stuff like that that can cost money. Now, that is an API that certain developers have partnered up or are using to make a business out of. And that's perfectly fine. And a lot of people love, that's the thing with like the Twitch culture, with the viewerships and live streamers over there, is that they'll actively giving money to the live streamer without, I'm not going to say without hesitation, but that's the only best way I can put it. Without hesitation is, hey, I enjoy what you're doing. You make me laugh. I feel fine. I feel great. Here's a penny or here's $1. And some things, if the live streamer is tied into with their channel, is they can play a sound like a fart sound or like a funny clip or quote from a movie or a TV show. It's simple things like that that the API infrastructure is possible with. And there's a lot of other services that do this. Trovo does, Trovo does with a lot of the on-screen elements, like for the elixirs and Mana, which is their live streaming currency that they have. Part of the currency that people can use is that they can have little gifts or something float up from the bottom over the screen. And these overlays are a great thing that interact with the streamer and the viewers, that the viewers themselves feel more immersed with the stream, that they feel that they are making an active participation with the streamer and what's going on with the stream. And sometimes it can become a hilarious interaction or something that can be tiresome after a while. This is just my personal opinion, but with the text to speech, some of those can go way overboard, and you're just sitting there, okay, it was funny with the first 6 times that they're repeating, but you had the repeating symbol and they were saying the same thing for 30 to 40 times. That's overboard. That's something that, in my personal opinion, that is just completely takes away from the whole overall experience of what's going on. Sometimes that could be funny, but oftentimes it is a little bit overdone, because don't take this the wrong way, but most viewers really don't understand or don't see, or I should say, don't have the same sense of funniness as a lot of other people. What they perceive as funny for them could be something as annoyance for a majority of the viewers. So this is something that the streamer themselves have to deal with or want to cultivate as something that they want to put out there that their viewers can do, are capable of. That's completely on the streamer. That's no biggie on my end. But from my personal opinion, I hate that, especially when it goes on forever and ever. It's just like the same. It's just, no, it's repetitive and dumb. But APIs are a great thing that, and from what I'm seeing, is that there is a shift in how people are perceiving API access. That I know I continue going back to the Twitter thing, is like seeing that, oh, I have to pay for API access for like $100. Why? And this totally shoots out my business plan. So you know what? Take that $100, take it out, actually spread it out over 30 days, and increase your pricing by that amount. And you'll find out it's not really that much more that you will have to charge. Yes, it sucks in that you'll have some people that get angry at you, especially if you're a developer that makes a product using an API and the pricing changes. Suck it up, buttercup. It's the way things are. Things are just going to get more expensive. That's just the way they are. There's no working around it. It's like, oh, it's $100 now. It should be like $1 or $10. That would be much better. And it's not going to go back to that way. It's something that you just have to deal with, put it in your cost of doing business, and pass it on to the consumers. That's just the way of doing business nowadays, or even forever. That's just the cost of doing business, really. But I think my main takeaway is that we really need to get away from the mindset that APIs are a free commodity that are available to anyone and everyone. We needed to get away from that years ago. Unfortunately, we're just now seeing how it's affecting us now, and that it's something that you're going to have to deal with, but we should have been dealing with. And it would have been not as severe backlash and lashing out as it is now if we had that from the very beginning. If APIs, yes, you can have a free tier of APIs. That's no problem. That's how, if that's what you want to go with and have a paid tier, go for it. As either a live streaming service or a social networking or anything like that. I don't, for certain aspects, let's say Mastodon, I don't see Mastodon having paid API access because it's just not built in the infrastructure. It's just not really there from what I'm aware of. It could be with small server instances. It depends on how the admins and the server owners want to work things out on their end. But other than that, the general gist of it has to be it's completely free. So there is that fact. Now, if you want to go ahead and talk, let's talk about more API stuff. What is the best API that's out there? What's the best way to learn about coding for API? Is there a way to code for API? Yes, there is, because a lot of people have done it. That's a stupid question, but you know what? I'm leaving it in there. If you know of a way, best way of learning about API coding and development, stuff like that, please let me know in the comments down below or through our community at indiecreatorhub.com. Join our community, and would definitely love to see some conversation about API or anything along with development or coding or anything like that to help content creators in the live streaming space try to make cool and interesting things that something that's more innovative than the channel points for a fart sound. So it's something that is very interested in learning about, is something that I would actually like to learn about a little bit more of myself. Definitely let me know in our community or in the comments if you're watching this on YouTube or the edited version later. You can also find this at any kind of podcast player of choice. You have different options available to you. It is all free unless you pay for Spotify, but hey, or Apple Music, whatever. I'm not saying anything. But you can find me over there at Apple Podcasts. You can also find these shows on Spotify, Pocket Cast, Amazon Music, anywhere else. Also, the edited versions are available on our YouTube channel. That's the Indie Creator Hub. It's youtube.com/@IndieCreatorHub. So from me to all of you, thank you for joining me, and I hope to see you next time here on the Cliche Crow podcast. Definitely keep an eye on the notifications. But until then, have a good night.